Hey, it's John from Watson Baptist Church. So what do you do when you're a pastor and you're alone in your church building because of social distancing? Well, you go into the children's classroom because you're bored, and you break into the closet and you find the Play-Doh. I love Play-Doh. Check this out. It's a snake. No video editing. Actually, here's something that I made, and I spent way too much time doing this using this little can of Play-Doh. So check this out. Okay, so either I was really fast there, or I did cheat and use video editing. That was time-lapse footage from my phone. That was supposed to be Moses, by the way. That was a Play-Doh version of Moses. When I was growing up, I loved art. Sketching and painting and using watercolors. I did everything. Still lifes, cartoons, nature scenes. I took art all 4 years in high school, and I'm pretty good at it. I'm not bragging. You can ask my mom. She kept my entire art collection. But I've always loved art. There's something really wonderful about taking an idea from your head and putting pen to paper and making it for other people to see. And then my junior year of high school, I was introduced to clay, which is a lot easier to manipulate than Play-Doh, by the way. And I started making busts or portraits of people's faces. And again, there's something great about using your own two hands and a few tools to take a lump of clay and manipulate it and refine it. And I can make a face out of clay. You know, as human beings, that's one of the things that makes us so special. We can make things. We can forge things. I can take something and make it into another. I can take Play-Doh and make it into a snake. Scientists can take various chemicals and make a compound. Chefs can take eggs and flour and ingredients and make them into bread. So we can make stuff. And in the language of the Old Testament, there's a word for that. It's pronounced asah. It means to make, to form, or to fashion. To make one thing out of something else. And all through the Bible, it talks about men and women making things and forming things and crafting things. And that's wonderful. But at the end of the day, that's all that men can do. I can take Play-Doh and make it into a snake, but I didn't make the Play-Doh. Hasbro, the toy company, they made the Play-Doh, and they made the Play-Doh mostly out of flour and water and salt, and the rest is a trademark secret. But even Hasbro, they didn't make the water and the salt and the flour, did they? Genesis 1:1 tells us that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And that verb there, to create, in the Old Testament language, it's pronounced bara. Now that is a verb used only for God in the Bible. Human beings cannot create. We cannot bara, because bara means to make something out of nothing. Only God can do that. Only God in his perfect power can decide on something and bring it into existence. Everything in our universe, everything in our physical realm, all matter, the building blocks of everything, God bara'd that. God created that. And we look in the New Testament, it reminds us this about Jesus, the eternal Son of God. Colossians 1:16. Paul says that through Christ, all things were created. Things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, all things have been created through him and for him. So in the end, we're all just makers. We can make something out of another thing. And again, that's wonderful. We are very clever, but only God is creator. Only God can make something out of nothing. But here's something else, and I want you to think about this. If God can make something out of nothing, then surely he can make something out of you. And that really is what Jesus came into the world to offer us, isn't it? When he talked about being born again with Nicodemus, being born from above. That's what Paul reminds us of in 2 Corinthians 5:17. He writes and says, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old is gone and the new has come. Talk about making something out of nothing indeed, right? Thanks so much for watching.